Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Instant Replay. I'm your host, Dave Garner. Thanks for joining us for this next hour as we talk about local sports in our local area, as always, highlighting and promoting student athletes in a positive way. And today we're going to talk local sports. We're going to talk some regional and national headlines as well. And, you know, this week is kind of like an open format. It's an anything goes type format, if you will. And the reason I say that is because once again, we're joined by BKP in studio with us this morning. Of course, I'm joining you remotely today, but again, looking forward to having BKP on with us as we talk about Rebel baseball, the Kentucky Derby, you name it, a little bit of everything right here. And just like BKP, you know, his show is anything goes with BKP. It's, you know, good morning from the office, right? Well, this week, same deal right here on this sports show. Anything goes, open format. Don't have a lot of notes in front of me, man. We're gonna go at it for the next hour here and talk about local sports. And we're glad that you've decided to join us and make us your home here for this next hour. Again, you can watch this show live Mondays, 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. right here on FYNTV.com. You can also watch it any other time, though, during the week on demand right here at the same place. Just click on demand, and you can pull up this show and other shows that we've done in the past. So, again, they are archived on FYNTV.com. And as always, you can follow us on one of our many social mediums. Again, we are all over the place, folks. Our Team FYN Sports crew is on the ground, and we are all over it if it happens in North Georgia. Again, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and also, of course, our email. Anytime you want to get in touch with us, teamfynsports@veterannews.com, and we appreciate you guys being with us. Get a look at some of our social mediums there. Again, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, FYN TV Fetch Your News. You see the email there as well, teamfynsports@veterannews.com. And our phone number, again, if you're watching the show live and you want to chime in, you're welcome to do that, 706-889-9700. As always, our number right here on the program. A lot of things going on. Before we jump into it, though, I want to bring BKP in, and I want to let him run in whatever direction he wants to go, and we'll go back and forth here. But BKP, man, a couple good hours this morning as you now put on your sports hat and join us right here on the Instant Replay. How was your weekend?
Hey, Dave, I appreciate. Hey, you know, first of all, I gotta say, I'm glad you showed up. I'm glad you're here. But anyhow, good to see you, Dave. I know you've had a lot going on the last couple of weeks. Good to have you back, always with us here at Team FYN Sports. I just gotta tell you the truth, Dave. I really didn't want to do the first show Monday morning. I love the show from 8 to 10. I love getting into all of the politics. I like that. We know that. But I could not wait for 10 o'clock because last week was big in North Georgia for the Fannin Rebels. They went from 32 teams down to 16. They made it into the Sweet 16, and now they're in the Elite 8. I want to talk about that. But before I do, let me introduce Lauren Hunter. Josh, give me Lauren's picture there. Just graduated this past Saturday from UNG. And next Tuesday, folks, we're excited. That is the 14th. Lauren will be joining the team. I couldn't hear you. I didn't have it turned up. Did I send her picture over to you? All right. Josh says one more second, so I just wanted to introduce Lauren to you. She won't be on the show next week, but she is going to join Team FYN Sports. There's Lauren. Just graduated Saturday over at UNG. She's joining Team FYN Sports and will be here next Tuesday, and can't wait for her to come on board. Now, let's go with Josh. Let's go with number 13, and I want to go with 13. And I want to go backwards just a little. This is our broadcast, Dave, if you can see that at home. There's the final Fannin 4, Redan 3, and that's our Team FYN Sports logo there. That's a screenshot of the guys getting together after the final game last Thursday. The Fannin Rebels getting together there on the mound and having a moment of silence and a team prayer together after they made it to the Elite Eight. And now going back, Josh, first of all, you jump in wherever you want. Let's put up number one. We're going to jump around just a little bit, but this is Tyler Norton. Now, this is not exactly the play, but this is Tyler Norton making the flip over to first. In the first game, Dave, the Rebels go in, and Redan Raiders are over at Stone Mountain. They drive over, and first game, the Rebels win 5-1. All right. Now I'm going to come back to this guy right here in just a second. So the first game, the Rebels take 5-1, and give me number 5. This is Carson Beavers. Okay. Carson Beavers on the mound, and also want to give a big shout out to Jerry Dave's All-Star Photos. Jerry does an outstanding job. If you go to the Fannin High School baseball Facebook page, you will find these pictures. Thank you, Jerry, for allowing us to use them. Jerry Dave's All-Star Photos. But this is Carson Beavers. He pitched game 1. And am I correct? He pitched 6 2/3. He faced the first 2 batters in that last 7th inning, right, Josh?
Yeah, he did.
He faced the last, and then Blake Rogers came in to finish number 18 to finish that game off. The reason being is I think GHSA says you can go 120 pitches in the playoffs, all right? And if you start a batter, in the 120, they get to finish. So I think he went 122 pitches, 7 2/3 innings, or 6 2/3 7 2/3 inning. 6 2/3. I get mixed up. I get it straight. 6 2/3, and then Blake Rogers came in and got that last out to finish it 5-1. Now number six, I'm pretty sure for Redan, which is Kilpatrick, had a solo home run shot for their only run. Now this is the first game, right? So Josh, that was pretty simple. All right, this is where we're going with this. Josh and I can tell you, Team FYN Sports, FYNTV.com, we broadcast this. So there's game 1, 5-1, right? So Fannin is I think they're 6-2. That's game 2, right? Are we in the 5th inning and Fannin's leading like 6-2?
6-2, yeah.
6-2. So Redan, without going into too much time, Dave, I'll go forever. Next thing you know, right? Next thing you know is it's 6-6, right, Josh?
Yep.
And this time, so out there, the first game, Fannin was the home team. This time, Redan Raiders are the home team. And it's almost like, Josh, Redan got that momentum once they got behind that first game. It was almost like, dare us, we can't play you, something like that. Would you agree?
Yeah, they kind of, once they got their backs against the wall, they woke up a little bit.
Right, once that back went against the wall, the Redan Raiders, they were there to play baseball. Now, that being said, we got a 6-6 in the second game, right? Mm-hmm. And we have several pitchers in the second game. We've got Chandler Kendall went 2 2/3. Blake Rogers pitched. I don't know how many pitchers we had come in, but we're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tell me where I'm wrong, Josh. It is 6-6. Bottom of the 7th. Redan is up, and I want you to give me my catcher again. All right. But I tell you what I want. Here's what I want. I'm going to show this. Let's see. I want to go number, where's Blake Rogers? Is he number 9? Is that Blake?
Yeah, it looks like it.
All right, I want to go Blake Rogers to Tyler Norton, and then back to my catcher. There he is. Let's stay with him first. So we're in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 outs. I think we got 2 outs, Josh. I'm not 100%. But here's what I do know. Redan has a runner 90 feet away from home plate. I mean, they score. They win this second game. And about that time, number 14, Batista, I'll never forget. Batista comes up. We got to talk about him in a minute. And he rips one. We're going to call it 100 mile an hour, right, Josh? And I have to tell you, I got to give it to Blake Rogers how he got out of his leg not being, hurt pretty bad after that, Josh. And it screamer right to Blake Rogers, hits him on the leg, bounces off him. Now go to Norton. All right. Tyler Norton, our second baseman, heads up play, pulls it out, right? He pulls it out after it bounces off Blake Rogers, and he knows he's got to go home to save this game. And he fires it home. Now give me my catcher. Now here's Jared Holloway. Now here's the good thing about this junior, this Fannin Rebel catcher. Jared Holloway, he steps out, Josh, and he doesn't get himself in position to get run over. He gets in position to make the play, which was very smart with this young man. So Batista, number 14 for Redan, off Rogers' leg with a smoker, right to Tyler Norton. Norton fires home. Jared Holloway makes the play. There you go. Right, Josh? That was the beginning of that was the end of the 7th inning. We went 11 innings that night. What did we get in the car? Like 12:45? Was it?
A 1:45.
Yeah, like 1:45 in the morning. We get in the car, 11 innings. So first of all, I'm announcing, Rick's announcing, we're calling this play-by-play on FYNTV.com. After the 7th inning, folks, I have no idea what I was saying, Dave. No idea what I was saying. I don't even remember what I was saying, Josh. We were all over the board. All right? Now, so we get to the 11th inning, and Fannin had gone through several pitchers, and finally Redan is the one in the bottom of the 11th inning, comes up with a run, and wins 7-6. Okay? Right? 7-6, boom. It's done. So we got a 5-1 Fannin, 7-6. Now we go back Thursday. And this was an amazing game, folks, Thursday. Now, this one is where Batista, number 14 for Redan, hit 2 stand-up doubles. Right, Josh? Yeah. But there was nobody on base when Batista, number 14, was smacking the ball.
Yeah, he was barreling it up pretty well.
He was, man. He is the guy who's really hitting this ball. So he's got then when he gets up with bases loaded, they get him out. But so we've got a 4. Fannin wins the third game 4-3. Okay, 4-3. And give me my pitcher there, Matthew Shira. All right. Now Matthew goes.
Do you know what?
I think he's I think Matthew's number 12. All right. So this is Matthew again. Thank you, number 12. Thank you, Jerry Dave's All-Star Photos. So Jerry, thanks a lot for letting us use your pictures this morning. Here's Matthew Shira, the right-hander. He goes 5 innings, right, Josh?
I believe it was 5.
5, and he doesn't get an out. Next thing you know, Chandler Kendall's in there, right? Mm-hmm. And the bases are loaded. At that time, when Matthew comes out, Fannin's winning 4-1, correct, Josh?
4-1.
4-1. And then when Fannin walks off the field, because in the third game, Redan's the home team again, right, Josh? Because they flip a coin. Mm-hmm. So Redan's home team, Fannin comes off the hill there, Chandler Kendall comes in. Now, Shira did an outstanding job on the hill, going 4 innings. 5 innings. In that 6th inning, the first batter, Josh, you remember, I got Josh telling me if I'm right or wrong. All right. He walked that first batter with 4 straight balls, right?
That's correct.
And, a couple of us were questioning. Now, let me tell you what I'm not questioning. These 2 coaches, I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to tell you what, Coach Weiss over at Redan and Coach Stone, these guys were amazing taking these teams through these 3 games. So it's 4-1, all right? Finally got to get Matthew out there. He's done an outstanding job. Pitch 5, 4-1. Now Chandler Kendall comes in, all right? Was he playing with passion or what? I mean, this guy, his defensive, big league defensive plays, Kendall. Hitting the ball. We're just going through that. I don't want to leave anybody out hitting the ball. These guys were playing awesome baseball. So anyhow, Kendall comes in. He gets the 3rd out. Finally, the Rebels do, but not before Redan scores 2, right? Mm-hmm. So we go in the 7th inning, 4-3, right? And that's when is it Lamback was pitching? I think Lamback was pitching.
Yep.
And Lamback was pitching for Redan. I'm doing this all from memory. And the Rebels come up empty at the top of the 7th, right? So Redan comes up to bat, and Chandler Kendall comes back out. And I'm telling you, he's in the high 80s, folks. He is throwing the smoke, all right? So Kendall comes back out, bottom of the 7th inning, 4-3. Redan's up to bat. They know. Now, we're going to play you. Are you ready, Josh? We're going to play you the entire 3rd out of this 3rd game right now. Tell Dave I hope he's not upset with me for going on. So play this 3rd out of the 3rd game. The Rebels can feel it. They're on their feet. Lonnie, give me a shot over there, the Rebel fans. Everybody's on their feet here. Look at this. The fans are on their feet. They know this is the out. This is it, Rick. All right, back. There you go, folks. I know our producer got you a nice shot of the fans all over. Here we go. Kendall's on the hill, and he's looking down the barrel. Lead off there, Rick. Whoa! Strike one! I'll tell you what, folks. I have not watched 3 games like this in a long time, Rick.
Here we come, fastball outside. Fastball
Kendall
away.
Looking down the hole. He got him there for strike 2. It's 0-2. 2 outs. 4-3. Bottom of the 7th inning. Chandler, look at him. He's walking around. He's talking to his team. Don't you love it, Rick? He's looking at his team. He says, this is the pitch, baby.
Here we go.
This is the pitch. That's what Chandler just stepped off the hill, looked at his team, and said, let's take this thing, baby. Here's the pitch. And it's a foul ball. Did you not love the way he walked off the hill, look at his team? I love that, man. I just did. He looked his team over. Let's do this, baby. All right, but, I don't know if I'm...
Here we go, 0-2, 2 outs.
Keep me in my seat, Rick. 0-2, 2 outs,
Rebels.
4-3, bottom of the 7th. Kendall looking down the barrel.
This is what it's
and
all
he's getting
about.
ready to deliver, and here it comes. Oh.
Waste one away.
All right.
Cam's too disciplined a hitter to go after something like that.
Yes, he is. You're right about that.
He's got to come after him.
All right, 1-2, 2 outs.
Got to challenge him.
Kendall looking down the barrel and delivers. He got him! Punched him out!
Rebels win!
Rebels win! Rebels win! To the Elite Eight next week, folks. There you go. It is over. And the Fannin Rebels make it past the Sweet 16 and are headed to the Elite Eight next week. How about it, fans? Baseball fans in North Georgia. How about it? Look at them out there on the field. I'm sorry, folks. Josh, I probably shouldn't have exposed you guys to that. It was wild. What did we do? 25 innings, Josh? Did we do, turn your mic off for a minute because I want to add, what did we do, 25 innings? 25 innings in 2 days. That was it for Chandler Kendall. And now, Josh, let me ask you this, because now let's talk just a minute about the Redan Raiders. It was the end of their season, Stone Mountain. Outstanding fans, great fans. We sit on that side. We had our production set up on the visiting side. Great fans, right? They left everything on that field. I spoke to Coach Weiss. The Redan Raiders left every single thing. Both those teams left it all on that field. Did they not, Josh?
Yeah, they did. There was I just like the competition between the two. There wasn't a bad word said. The fans were in it. There was just no hostility out there. Like you said, everything was on the field, and they respected each other, and you could tell by the way they played the game.
Unifying. Baseball is unifying. I'm going to have a final thought on the unification of baseball, what it can do for America. Let me run through some pictures here. I want to make a little note before I talk and turn it back over to you and Dave for the morning. Let me go to Carson Beavers. Okay, give me number 5. This is Carson Beavers. He pitched, had the win. He had the win in game 1 there. Number 10. And again, Jerry Dave's All-Star Photos. Thank you. Let's remember. Number 5. I told you 10, right? I'm sorry. Give me number 5. I might have said 10. I apologize. That's Carson Beavers. Remember, there's three pictures I want you to put up. Look at Carson Beavers, number 10, the ace there. Okay. Then give me number 18. Okay. Number 18, Blake Rogers. All right. Something I want to show up. 9. I'm sorry. His numbers. I'm sorry. There's number 9, Blake Rogers. Okay. There's number 2, Blake Rogers. Now give me number 12, Matthew Shira. Josh, those are the 3 aces right now. Not the Fannin doesn't have. Gabe Buchanan's in the bullpen. He's a junior. But these are the 3 major starters right now for the Rebels, and all 3 are juniors, Josh. All 3 of these guys are coming back next year for that hill. And all 3 of these guys are in the high 80s throwing. And I know Blake Rogers is hitting higher than that. You followed me? That's an exciting stat to know all of these guys are coming back next year.
Yep. It's nice to know your 3 aces are coming back.
Absolutely. Let me just say something. They're getting ready to play the Pike County. Josh, let me say this. Give me number 2, Hunter Gray. Okay. I'm going to give a quick shout out on Hunter. Give me, let's see, I think I got one more on Hunter over at first base. Yes, give me number 7. All right. Great pickoff moves. I think there was 3 pickoffs this past series. But on this guy here on first base, Hunter Gray, I want to give a shout out to Hunter. He's a smart batter. They did not pitch to him, did they not, Josh? We could not get, this guy could not get pitches. Now, there was a couple times he got in the 3-2 spot where there were bases loaded, and it was 2 outs, and, they had to pitch to the guy, right? A couple times. But this guy does not chase pitches. He doesn't chase bad pitches, and he ends up on first base.
Yeah, he's very disciplined. Yeah,
very disciplined on the bat. I actually do not. This is probably. I don't know if it's a Chandler, but let me give you number 8 just to show you this exciting picture and some of the baseball we were looking at. And let me give you number 10, Jerry. All-Star Photos again. There's Chandler. And that just says, and I'm getting ready to show you. This is coming off the hill after that 3rd out, number 11. Okay? Give me that, number 11, coming off the hill. There's Chandler Kendall coming off the hill after that 3rd out. And, folks, I want to make a note because, so many of these guys I don't want to leave out. So I want to go to the roster really quick. Beefers, way to go, guys. Way to play as a team. Chandler Kendall, Gabe Buchanan at third. Outstanding series, Gabe. I mean, you were sucking it up there on that hot spot right there on that corner and throwing it across the real estate. Gabe, you did an outstanding job. Also, up the bat. Third game, Josh, early on, the Rebels were catching the second baseman playing high, pushed it out there to right field. Hunter, big league plays, really great plays, man. Also, heads up in the box, making sure you're going to first base. Matthew, big stick, hitting the ball. Way to go, buddy. And also on the hill. Way to go. Blake, you're doing the job, man. That's all I can say. I mean, this guy can throw the ball, can he not? I mean, he is smacking the glove. Jarrett Holloway, let me tell you something. I'm going to say this right now, okay, Josh? Let me say this. I don't know. Sometimes I shouldn't say things, but you've been around me long enough, all right? Jarrett, number 23, let me give you this. Go to my catcher. Do you have him? One more time, all right? Jarrett, let me tell you something, okay? You had some of the toughest shoes. You had some of the toughest equipment to put on. You had the toughest spot maybe on this entire team to go put yourself in. From batting to behind the plate, you're doing an outstanding job, Jarrett. You just stepped right in, and we all know out there when Jarrett walked in behind that plate, we all know the guy that left last year and the pressure that was put on this guy. Jarrett, I just want to tell you what an outstanding job you have done getting behind the plate and doing the job. I had to do that. Miles Johnson, hey, look, you're up here with me. I know you were late in the season getting back from an injury and getting released. It's taken a little bit to get the bat moving, so I understand that. So I'm looking for a big Miles, fresh out the bed. That's his walk-up music, right, Josh? Fresh out the bed.
Fresh out the bed.
Miles, get out the bed, get in the box, and let's get that bat live. I know you could do it, all right? Bryson Pack, outstanding job. I mean, he's solid in the outfield. I mean, if it's hit to Bryson, he's catching the ball. Tyler, big league plays, baby. Tyler Norton, I mean, don't stop. And I think I got everybody. Matthew, had to give everybody a shout out. Let's look at the bracket here. Josh, I think I put it up. Did I send you the bracket? You didn't get the brackets? All right, let me go back to Dave just for a second. And Dave, I mean, any comment you want to make while I get him the brackets over there?
All right, sounds good. Yeah, once BKP gets in a rhythm, man, you just let him go. So, no, I tell you what, a lot of the show today, obviously the Fannin County Rebels doing something that hadn't been done in the local area in quite a while and going to the Elite Eight, and they'll be taking on Pike County out of the Griffin area. And, it's one of those things where, from the Rebels standpoint, you look at it and you're in that fourth or fifth inning of game two and you've got that lead. And, they let it slip away. I mean, Redan, credit those guys, man. They always have a lot of great athletes that come through there. And they were able to tie that game up. It goes into extra innings. And, Redan wins an emotional 11 inning game. And so you got to wonder coming back the next day, how things were going to play out on that Thursday. Emotionally, the Rebels could have very easily suffered a letdown, to have let that game got away, that game two game, and then to come back in day three, if they're unable to pull that game out, they're really kicking themselves right now thinking what might have been. But it just goes to show you the resiliency of this year's Rebel team and what they've been able to do game in and game out. Mentally focused, obviously ready to play ball in game three, that decisive game three. Redan, of course, spending the night, staying up and doing those sorts of things. And, it's always fun when you get in those 3-game series in state because when it comes down to that third game, I mean, winner goes on, loser goes home. And so a lot of maturity, a lot of resiliency for this Fannin County Rebel team to be able to win the 3-game series after that second game. You've ran through all of them, all the guys, man. It's just awesome to see a team from our local area to be able to play at this level and now to move even further into the state bracket. So very awesome, very proud of those guys. And we'll talk a little bit more about those guys in a moment, but let's toss it back to BKP. Speaking of brackets, and let's look and see where the Rebels are at.
Dave, thanks for just letting me go on this. I'm so excited. I just Team FYN Sports being able to do these games, and we're going to do them again this Wednesday. FYNTV.com. Pre-game against Pike County is Dave is going to be 4:30 game time, 5 o'clock Wednesday. So again, I'm so excited to get to do those for FYN. Give me bracket 1. I don't was paying attention. Did you have that one up? All right, there's bracket 1. You got Pike County and Fannin County, and you see Pike made it through Island. That was where, right out of Savannah, out there on the Outer Banks, right, Josh?
Yeah, it's around Whitmarsh Island.
And as you can see, you have, but you can see right there, Pike got the first game 7-0, and got the second game 1-0. So they shut them out 2 games right in a row on a double header. They didn't have to play a second day. Fannin gets, you can see the score there if you can see it. Fannin gets Redan 5-1, and then Redan over Fannin 7-6, and then Fannin over Redan 4-3 out there at Stone Mountain. So you can see Fannin matches up with Pike. Over here to the left, you see Appling County. There was just a doubleheader there. They beat Rutland 5-4 and then 5-2. So they didn't have to go to a third game. And then look who's there, North Hall, right out of Fannin's region, okay? Yes, there's a chance Fannin County plays North Hall, right? But they have to take Westminster. Westminster beats North Hall the first game 4-2, as you can see, and then North Hall goes 13-5 and then 8-1 to get over Westminster. And as you can see, this is the Elite 8. We started at 32. Give me that other bracket, Josh, at the bottom, just to show everybody at home. You have Cook moving on to play Hart County. Hart County went over Ringgold, and that had to go 3 games, okay, 5-4. Ringgold got the first game 5-4, and then Hart County got the second 2. So they are playing Cook, and Cook is at home. And then Crisp County, as you can see, they had to take, how you pronounce that team underneath that, Josh? Benedictine, right. They had to go 3 games with them, and then Pace Academy over Calhoun. So that is the kind of competition, Dave, and I know you know a lot of these teams you're looking at in this final 8 to move on. But isn't it interesting? There's a possibility that Fannin could play North Hall. Dave, I'm going to jump out. You guys got other stuff. Kentucky Derby. It was a sloppy mess. A lot of controversy over that. But, the leader got the horse that crossed the finish line, I forget the name first, got disqualified. But let me just give a shout out, and I'm going to give it back to you and Josh. Baseball fans out there, sorry I get too excited about this. We will have Wednesday night, Pike County, Fannin, 5 o'clock, game time, FYNTV.com. We'll have both doubleheaders live on our channel there. If there's a game 3, we will be live on Thursday, okay? It's Elite 8. Huh? And I'm going to take us to break, and when we get back, Josh and Dave. Now, listen, there's 2 things, Dave. When you get back, I won't be here, but I don't want to find out things have calmed down because this is an exciting sports morning. You got it, Josh? Take us to break, guys. Thanks a lot for giving me this time.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN 10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
And welcome back to the program. Man, where do we go from here? I mean, I'm not even sure BKP left us any scraps, but put some butter on him, man. He's on a roll. When he gets rocking, man, I tell you what, you just let him go. And, you know, the bulk of what we were going to talk about today certainly centered around Fannin County baseball. Congratulations once again to the Rebels, who are Elite 8 bound, and they will take on Pike County in the next round. And real quick, we're going to move on because we got some other things to cover in the short amount of time that we have. But looking at the bracket, man, North Hall over Westminster. I mean, traditionally, when you look at those private schools, you look at the Westminsters and the Lovetts and those sorts of schools, man, they're powerhouses each and every year. So, you know, it just goes to show you that Fannin County, it's not like they won a weak region. You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys are there for a reason. And then we're also seeing that, too, validated by the fact that North Hall toppled Westminster, and they're very much on their way as well. They've got Appling in the next round. I mean, you look at the bottom of that bracket there. I mean, Cook is certainly going to be tough. I like Pace Academy as well on the other side. So should be a lot of fun. But hopefully the Rebels can just keep on going, man. I'm excited for those guys. Let's switch gears. Josh is still with us. So it's he and I left right here over this last 15, 20 minutes or so. We do appreciate you guys tuning in as we talked about high school sports starting to wind down. The Rebels, of course, taking us in late into the postseason. High school football, spring practice cranking up. Again, we're going to talk a little bit more about that on next week's show. But I also want to mention, too, that the state track and field championships are slated for this week. I know for 4A, it's down in Albany, and several athletes from Gilmer and Pickens will be there. I know on Gilmer's side, I believe Carlos Cruz is headed there, and also Naomi Coombs. She, of course, finishing in the 800 and qualifying for the state meet. And then for Pickens, I know that you've got Seth Black qualifying for the high jump, Matt Webb in the pole vault, and Seth White in the 800-meter run as well. So Seth Black and Seth White, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm not just being funny, I think there's a Seth Gray, and there might even be another Seth, Seth Green, maybe. I mean, there's all kinds of Seths that represent the colors. But Seth Black and Seth White both going for the Pickens boys team. So again, several other, and we've got others in the area as well. And I apologize if I'm leaving anyone out. But again, congratulations to all those who competed at the state sectionals this past weekend. Congratulations to those that are moving on to the state championships this week. They're scattered all over. Albany is going to be hosting one of the state championships. We see several. Again, that's where a lot of our locals are going to be at. So good luck down Saturday. We know that for a fact. So again, it's going to be a lot of fun. Good luck to all the runners, throwers, field eventers, all the folks that are headed to the state track and field meet this week. A lot of them will be leaving out Wednesday night because I think a lot of the prelims are on Thursday. So again, track and field beginning to wrap up. We talked about tennis, of course, Gilmer, another state-bound team, golf, soccer, you name it. Most of those seasons have come to a close for most of our local area teams. So again, congratulations on a great spring season, man. It's been a lot of fun. Still not over with yet. We still got baseball. We got spring football practice, but we have really hit the stretch run for our students locally now as we get set for the end of the school year. I know they're counting down the days. I'm married to a teacher. I know they're counting down the days as well. So it's a lot of fun, and we appreciate you guys being with us this morning. I thought, and Josh, I thought we were going to go commercial free today because of the BKP. I thought he was just going to go for the whole hour, and I would have let him go, man. I would have let him go. But again, we will take another commercial break here in a moment. We are going to talk a little bit about the Braves. We're going to bring Josh in. I know that things have been busy with all the other stuff going on. You guys have been busy, obviously, on the production side as Team FYN Sports televised that Rebel baseball series against Redan last week, and I know you guys are up again this week against Pike County. Give us, before we go to break, though, I want a behind-the-scenes look. I know you're there doing stuff, Josh, but tell us a little bit of what it's like being behind the scenes in that moment. Broadcasting 25 innings of baseball over the course of 2 days like you guys did. It's got to be neat from your perspective as well.
It was pretty awesome watching it from behind the scenes. You get to, when you're there for one team, you kind of just pay attention to your team. But when you're kind of non-biased, as I was, because being a Gilmer person, I'm not a huge Fannin fan, even though I have a cousin on the team. But you get to see both of them. The parents on both sides were very kind to one another. I just loved how everybody just showed that mutual respect between the two teams. You got two guys here trying to make it to the Elite Eight. They have state title on their mind, and there's no hostility. There were some questionable calls out there. They never let it get to them. I don't know. It's just really good to see. Like Brian was saying, baseball is unifying. You don't see a lot of controversy in baseball like you do in other sports. So I enjoy it. It's tiring getting there and setting everything up. It took us 3 or 4 hours, and then we didn't get out of there till 1 o'clock that morning. But I don't know. It's awesome. It's cool sitting there, getting to watch everything. And I was a little bit late on clicking a few things because I get too into baseball. So I don't know. I enjoyed it though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no controversy or crying in baseball, right? A reference to League of Their Own there. But, yeah, it was fun watching you guys do your thing, and good luck this week, too. is again, the Elite Eight comes to FYNTV.com, and Team FYN Sports will be all over that. Let's go ahead and take a break. This might be our final break, so if we need to run some extra spots, Josh, to get caught up, let's go ahead and do it now, because when we come back, we'll wrap up the show kind of working it around some of the regional things that we have going on, and we do appreciate you guys being with us here for this week's episode of the Instant Replay, and certainly looking forward to, by the way, to Lauren, who BKP alluded to up top today in the broadcast. She will be joining the Team FYN Sports team here in a couple of weeks. I don't believe she'll be on next week's show, but the show after that, we're looking forward to officially introducing Lauren as part of our team, and we hope that you guys will join us there. And again, it's going to be a lot of fun indeed. So let's go ahead and toss to a break. We'll be right back with more of the Instant Replay. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Instant Replay. I'm your host, Dave Garner. BKP has left us. He had prior obligations this morning, so again, he had to cut on out. So we've got an empty studio. So Josh and I are going to talk a little bit, and we're going to be throwing up some different stuff. So I just didn't want you guys at home to wonder why we were no longer showing the studio, but we didn't want to pop up the studio with no one in it. It's empty right now. So, again, it'll just be kind of between Josh and I. And we don't have a camera in the control room. We used to, but we don't anymore. So, unfortunately, we can't put a face with the voice there. But Josh Ross, as always, our producer-director with us right here on the program. By the way, Josh, I met a good buddy of yours yesterday, Mr. Jeremy over at Verizon. So, anyway, I just want to surprise you with that one there, but he says hello. But anyway, a lot of things going on in the way of regional sports. Obviously, the NFL draft is over with. The NBA playoffs going on right now. Atlanta United picking up a big win on Sunday night over Sporting KC. They needed that to continue to maintain pace, to try to get back to where they were at, last season. Obviously, winning 3-0 like they did, it was great to see Joseph Martinez with 2 goals. He'd only had 2 in the first 7 matches, so for him to come away with 2 on Sunday night on the road was certainly big to get him back into a rhythm. Ezekiel Barco continues to impress as he had the first goal, I believe, of the match there, 3-0 the final. Brad Gazan again with a clean sheet, and you love starting to kind of see these guys. New leadership this year with Frank DeBoer, so you just, and not very impressed. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't think a lot of Atlanta United fans are so far with the early part of the season and what these guys have been able to do or not do, I guess. But starting to see these guys turn a corner a little bit, so that's a great thing to see. And we'll talk a lot more about the Atlanta United as we roll. As we mentioned, NBA playoffs, some good series going on. Golden State almost up 3-0, but Houston able to pull out an overtime game there to keep that a series at 2-1. Trailblazers Nuggets tied at 2-2 after Sunday. So, again, there's a lot of good things going on nationally. We're going to talk about the Atlanta Braves in just a moment. But really the big headline, of course, over the weekend, and my wife's from Kentucky, so she has not missed a Kentucky Derby basically in her entire life. But as Brian said earlier, for the first time in 145 years of running the Kentucky Derby, the horse that crossed the line first was ultimately not the winner. That's because, of course, Maximum Security, who won by a length or 2, disqualified because he moved out of his lane. There's some things that, unless you really follow horse racing, you're not even really familiar with the fact that that's even a rule. But there's certain points on a track during a race that you're not allowed to kind of move out of your line, so to speak, and impede the progress of another horse. And that's exactly what the ruling was following this year's running of the Kentucky Derby. That allowed Country Home or Country House, I believe, to win, who, of course, had crossed the line second. He is now the only horse that is able to win the Triple Crown this year. Obviously, the Preakness will be in a couple weeks, Belmont a couple weeks after that. But because of the disqualification, Maximum Security will pull out of the Preakness because no chance of a Triple Crown there. So I don't know if that's just sour grapes on the part of the owner or if that was a planned move if he didn't win the Derby. But either way, I think the owner is planning on filing an appeal there, and his name escapes me off the top of my head. I know it's not Bob Baffert, who usually wins, but again, just an unbelievable finish there. And Josh, I don't know if you got to see it or not. I don't want to put you on the spot, but what are your thoughts about that? And then after that, just go ahead and take us into the Braves talk, and we'll just go back and forth on that.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it. I was at dinner with my family when I saw it coming on, so I went online and we made a quick little bet on it. And of course, we all took Maximum Security and were happy for a little bit until the ruling came down. But I don't know. I didn't get to I haven't gone back and watched what allegedly happened, so I don't have much to comment on that. But I don't know. I was wondering about the sour grapes thing too, why he pulled out, if that was a planned move all along or if it's just because he got DQ'd. But as far as the Braves go, they had a series against San Diego and Miami last week. They split 2-2 with San Diego, and they swept Miami. The first game against Miami was Friday night, and of course there was a little bit of fireworks in that game. It's the first time we faced Urania since he drilled Acuna last year, and Touki Toussaint was called up prior to the game, and a lot of people assumed it would be for long relief in case Kevin Gosman was thrown out, and of course he was as soon as he threw it at Urania. So I don't know. I think Gosman was being a little bit classy by not drilling him, but he still wanted to get the message across. Some people are mad that he missed and didn't hit him. I think we did what we needed to do, and we can move on from it. So, but the Braves are on the road still this week. They've got the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. The Dodgers are playing good baseball. They're a good team, and the Diamondbacks, after trading Goldschmidt this offseason, a lot of people thought they would kind of be at the bottom of the NL West, but they're playing great baseball too, sitting in second place in the West. As far as the standings go, the Braves, I believe, are now 18 and 16. That puts them a game and a half back from the Phillies. They've won 3 in a row, so that's helping them make a little bit of ground. The Mets somehow are sitting in third with like a negative 20-something run differential. I'm not sure how they're pulling that off, but hopefully the Braves can continue to win ball games. The bullpen's getting stronger. We've got some help in there, and Grant Dayton and Blevins now. As long as the starters can get deep in the games and we don't have to get too crazy with the bullpen, I think we've got a good chance to hopefully catch and pass the Phillies in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, excellent analysis right there, Josh. Again, our Braves guru, and you're right. We got a tough road stretch now against the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, a team that swept us, I think, the first time just a couple weeks back. So definitely our work cut out for us. But as a Braves fan, you gotta like what's happened over the last week or so, and that's beating teams you're supposed to beat. Going down to Miami, even the Marlins, splitting with the Padres. That's you like to see that. They split a 4-game set, as you said. I think things come around a little bit offensively, and I'm like you. I saw that the whole, Urania thing whenever we went up against him, and interested to see what all happened. But I think you're right. A lot of guys that wish he would have hit him. I remember back in the day, Terry Pendleton, actually walked off the field one time because the Braves pitcher refused to retaliate against, one of their guys when one of our guys had gotten hit. So, you got to like that competitive. I think the Braves definitely took care of what they needed to do. Importantly, they won the ball games, and 3 for the Marlins, which is you got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, and if you do that, you can take a game or 2 from a team like LA, Arizona. Then I think you're going to be right there in the mix. I think the Braves they need to be at this point in the season. We're about out of time on this show. I know things have moved fast, so we talked a lot about Fannin County. First half hour, very own BKP joining us here in studio, talking about the Rebels play run and what a run it is. And guys, let's not stop here, man. I tell you what, I'd love to see these guys move on into the state final, actually into the state championship. What recognition for our area here along 515, which is basically the bulk of our coverage area from Dawson County to Murray County through Hiawassee into North Carolina. A lot of things going because of the Rebels playoff run and because of something going on this week. That was the focus of our show. But next week, the goal is to talk about some spring football, to talk about some of the other sports, and do kind of an efficient wrap up as much as we can with the teams whose seasons come to an end. But it has been a lot of fun. It has been a lot of fun, and we appreciate you guys being in all morning. I know my computer's been having some issue. Look a little fuzzy right now. I'm not sure if that's on my end or yours. But either way, I know you're hearing my voice. And you can catch a weekly Mondays 11 a.m. right here on FYNTV.com. But if you can't log on, if you're at work or something, you can always go on demand and watch the show on demand, FYNTV.com. On all of our social media. While this is a highlight, it's not all Team FYN sports. We are active every day on the ground, covering sports in our local area, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the full story of local sports, the local area. Going to wrap things up, program. Thank you for being with us. One, your host, Dave Garner, Josh Ross, behind the glass. We're the magic as always. Till next time, we'll see you. Great week.